Hello everyone, I am Professor Zahoor, ex-Dean Faculty of Fine Arts, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Today we are going to paint a front scene in oil pastels. Oil pastels can be used for indoor paintings as well as outdoor painting. There is beautiful color scheme in front of us, green, blues and browns. In the morning, color scheme is always cool and soft pastel shades. Selecting my color palette, I will use lot of greens, blues, yellows, even some pink and brown. The whole atmosphere is so calm and beautiful with a blue sky. I am just about to start by observing the basic colors by half close my eyes. I can see light green and yellows. The hedge has bright light shining on its edges. At a distance, we can see monumental pillars. And then again, in the foreground, next to hedge, are the flowers which will break the monotony and add charm to the painting. At first, one needs to take the measurements of width, height, and the distance between the objects. I will start with that now. Stretch your hand to the full and measure the width of the monument and mark it over the paper. Then measure the height and place the dots for rough estimate. Cross-check it to clear any doubt. With the arm stretched out, all the measurements will be from same angle and there is less risk of wrong estimation. Draw the lines of the pillars. It is not possible to draw the whole structure as it is getting covered by the foliage. The rough lines can give an idea of a base on which an artist can start and move his painting forward. Like Janice K. Shaffer says, 90% of my creative process takes place right on the paper, making the original subject only a starting place for the finished painting. Behind the pillars, there is a wall. Put rough strokes of brown colors to indicate the wall. It is almost in a straight line, exact parallel. Measure the width of the wall to see at what place to draw the trunk of the tree and see how much is going to be covered in the frame of the painting. Its height is exceeding the size of the paper. Observe the other trees piercing through the pictorial structure of the monumental pillars. Draw a line indicating the angular position of the second tree. Trees have a habit of looking unbalanced, awkward, or just plain crazy. Despite nature's best endeavors, not all trees make good subject. The red dots are the marks of the flowers next to the hedge, staring directly in our face. They will later on be the stark contrast among the greens and browns of the painting and break the monotony. The light blue touches indicate the sky peeping through the foliage of the trees. The dark dots helps in exploring the internal structure of shadows. The darkest tones mapped out on the spread of greens. Start filling the monument with crimson. The grains of the paper are adding to the textural quality. The varying amount of the pressure on the sticks will create interesting tonal variations. Each type of surface demands different treatment of dealing with a medium, and similarly the technique may vary. The vision includes images, moods, feelings, and colors. With layer by layer of optical and mental planning, the artist keeps on applying colors to different parts of the painting. Something monument, sometimes flowers, and sometimes wall. But with enough of spontaneity to keep the strokes free and retaining the rhythm. The mind urges to transform the things visible in one's own colors and develop a personal style. The possibilities of explorations and depictions are endless. The depicted scene becomes full of imagination, representations, indications, intricate details, as well as just symbols. Feathery background and rippled textures add to the charm of the oil pastels. With the touches of yellow ochre over the blue, one can see the intermingling of two colors and forming opaque passages. With just white grains of the paper peeping through, the blue and white has been overshadowed by yellow ochre. This is how new hues are built up by overlapping colors. Now is the time to highlight the lightest areas with lemon yellow, just to indicate the source of light and the angles on which it is creating lightest tone. One can make the marks with scumbling, hatching, pointillism, or even by simply blending smooth passages. Burnt sienna of the wall will form a smooth transition with lemon yellow and bring up the contrast. The dark lines in the monumental structure will add another dimension by creating depth. The depth not only depends upon the color used by the artist, but also by the amount of pressure put on the pastel sticks to give birth to tonal variations. For a wider spread of color, the oil pastel sticks can be used in a flat way. Using them flat makes it easy to create a uniform tone all around. The scribbles of lemon yellow in the foreground along with yellow ochre will depict the tonal variation created due to the sun falling from a particular angle. The use of light blue on the lemon yellow of hedge will bring out another tone of green. Gradually, the layers of colors will eliminate the flex white paper. But it totally depends on the artist where he wants to hide the greens and where he wants to blend the shades to produce a smooth gradient. Every artist may use a medium in his own way and mold it as per his imagination. Auguste Rodin said, "The modes of expression of men of genius differ as much as their souls, and it is impossible to say that in some among them, drawing and colors are better than or worse than in others." Spread a tone of grey and yellow across the foliage. Wherever many colors will overlap, a smooth gradient will keep on forming in contrast to the grainy parts, with white of the paper reflecting. Sannino Sannini said, "This is an occupation known as painting, which calls for imagination and skill of hand, in order to discover things not seen, hiding themselves under the shadow of natural objects, and to fix them with the hand, presenting to plain sight what does not actually exist." Similarly, whatever is visible to a spectator is not the exact representation, but is just an impression of the actual scene loaded with imagination and experience of dealing with the medium. The interest is being created with the knowledge gaps, each stroke guiding the next. The objects have been placed on the paper with the some proportions, but simplification is hinting at their presence. The details have diminished, and the subject has been brought down to the simplest form with the help of color. Form and textures, and interlocking light and shadows. After forming the darkest structure of tree trunk, draw the line of the wall supporting the horizontal setup. Keep on adding shades of green to the foliage. This will automatically make a few opaque bunches of leaves stand out from among the abstract spread of greenery. Smoother out a few areas in the foreground too, but rubbing white pastel color over the prevailing green. Every mark of color acts as an element in the abstraction and becomes a gesture that is both physical and intellectual. After linear approach, smudging mixing textural strokes. Now is the time to use pointillism to add dark spots under the stems adorned with crimson flowers. Spread the flecks of dark blue across the green ground too, to imply the dark areas all over. One just needs to educate an eye, catch visual information, and depicts in one's own way. The painting should be full of imaginary lines and bring out the unique character of the scene being depicted. Jeff Koons very aptly said, "If I try to articulate every little detail in drawing, it would be like missing the forest for the trees. So it's just about getting the outline of the forest." Diffusion and highlights are two important factors in a painting. Without any of them missing, the impact would not be the same. They interplay with each other and help in bringing out important parts in the painting. not to let the dark blue strokes stand out alone. It's crucial to add a taps of light green for creating a visual harmony by the play of tonal variations. One stroke next to the other leads to optical mixing, and one can see another tone by just looking at two colors placed side by side. Artist spirit is never contented, and his heart always wants to make more and more changes in his work of art. He wants to exploit his imagination to every possible extent and makes use of required elements from his wild imagination to give birth to a masterpiece. Henry Matisse rightly said, I want to reach the stage of condensation of sensations which constitutes a picture. Perhaps I might be satisfied momentarily with a work finished at one sitting, but I would soon get bored looking at it. Therefore, I prefer to continue working on it so that later I may recognize it as a work of my mind. A few lines depicting the hidden branches in the thickness of the foliage help in forming a connection between different elements till now just placed in their own space. There was green in foliage and green for foreground. But now the dark branches have formed a language between the dark trunk and the darkest shadows of the pillars. The branches are rooting out and spreading in the space of foliage and monument, thus creating interconnectivity. J.P. Huston said, for me, painting is like a story which stimulates the imagination and draws the mind into a place filled with expectation, excitement, wonder, and pleasure. This is so true for every artist. Within Saint, reworking him gives vent to all his feelings, and gradually the painting becomes an extract of the heart. Reinforce the deepest shadows and an overall tone as required to the area covering foliage, the branches, and the inner dimensions of the monument. The actual structure of foliage has been altered to suit the requirement of the composition. The dark dots are to some extent exploring the main areas of shadow noted. The dark tone imparts softer look to the foliage masses. The internal buff structure, texture and gaps through which the sky is peeping from behind all contribute in bringing out a coherent painterly form. The painting may move far away from the exact representation, but the vision, experience, skill, inspiration, ideas, expectations, memory and imagination all form pictorial associations. One can mold and remold the painting again and again as per the demand of the composition. The experimental characteristic of the medium can easily hook an artist to form his own transition with the pigment. Now is the time for sgraffito, which means scraping off the outer layers to expose the color underneath. With this technique, one can create more tones and also remove excessive or unwanted color from a particular area. The smoothing of an area makes it stand out against the textural background. Rub off the extra color from the foliage, pillars, wall, hedge and foreground. The scraping can create linear texture in the dark color or even pave out a lighter tone. Interesting tonal variations will crop up. It might appear as if the painting has been created in an underpainting technique. In which one applies a wash or flat underpainting to eliminate the grains of white paper. The painting in front of our eyes is devoid of much details and beautifully built up by interconnecting the bold blocks of tonal variations. Claude Monet very nicely explained. When you go out to paint, try to forget what object you have before you. A tree, a house, a field, or whatever. Merely think, here is a little square of blue, here an oblong of pink, here a streak of yellow, and paint it just as it looks to you. the exact color and shape until it emerges as your own naive impression of the scene before you. Scratching, rubbing, dabbing, smudging, all techniques can create their own unique effects. And tell the unlimited possibilities in which one can explore the medium and experiment with it.